My mom does criticize me about how I parent my children.
Jenny gets angry, she curses, rages out of control in Lee's presence.
With Lee, she says that I am a little bit too hard on her, that Lee is nothing like Jordan. She blamed me for not disciplining him enough. My mom would tell me that he did need his ass beat on numerous occasions.
Jenny and her husband fight in front of Lee. He said, "You're doing that in front of the baby. What are you teaching her?"
I do believe I made the right decision adopting Lee.
I think Jenny has a tendency to abuse alcohol because of her unhappiness.
I feel like I'm a good mom because I would never, ever turn my back on my children, ever.
I don't think you're seeing this clearly, but by no stretch of the imagination do I think you endorsed what he did. I want to be very clear about that. What I do think is that you have compassion for him and can make a case in your mind for why he would be the way he is. And as a result, I think you're more forgiving than an objective individual would be, because this is your child. And I think you are allowing him to have an expectancy set that he's going to be able to reunite with this child. And when he gets out and finds out that's not the case, he's going to feel betrayed by you and could be a very high-risk relationship for you at that point, because he's going to feel like you've given him the indication that, you know, we can forgive and forget and move on. And that's not the case. You don't have the right to do that. That's not your decision anymore. That was the court's decision. The court's decision was that this is a very high-risk individual for this little girl. And I promise you, the court's intention is not for him to see pictures of her, not for him to keep the hope of that relationship alive. And it's just not going to work well when he gets out and finds out that that's going to be enforced, and it is going to be enforced, because if you don't enforce it, the courts will, and neither one of you will have access to this child. If this continues, you may not be an option for Lee. And that's the issue that we get down to, because according to Emma, if you experience anger and road rage and fights in front of Lee and alcohol problem and smoking marijuana and a suicide attempt in 2018, and a month ago DHS was involved for you bringing Lee to concerts with alcohol and marijuana and leaving Lee home alone with a disabled husband. It gets to be a situation where the court steps in and says, this is a violent, dangerous environment for this child. So you've got to take measures to demonstrate that that's not the case. If not, this is a very high-risk situation with this child being removed. And if they find out that you're in violation of this restraining order, then given the severity of what was done to her before, they're very likely to take drastic actions.